Hi everyone, this is Melissa the Stamp Doc. Today I'm going to show you how I created the watercolor background on this card that features the Leave a Little Sparkle stamp set, which is available on my Stampin' Up website, as well as our new pigment sprinkles. These are watercolor crystals that you can use to create many different watercolor effects, and today's card is just the first one that I will be showing you. I'm starting with a piece of 3.5 inch by 5 inches of the Fluid 100 paper, and I'm going to use an embossing buddy just to take off any oils that might be present. I'm going to rub that over the front of that paper, and then I've already got my stamp on the block. I'm going to ink that up with Versamark ink and then stamp that on my paper. Once I've stamped that image, I'm going to lift that off of there, and you won't be able to see it right now, but I'm going to sprinkle some of the shimmery black embossing powder over that and be very generous with it, and then shake off the excess. Now off camera, I'm going to go ahead and heat that with my heat tool until that melts, and then I'll be right back. All right, now I have heat embossed that, so now you'll see that this doesn't rub off, and there's just a slight raised edge, and then it's also just a little bit shimmery too. My next step is I'm taking a piece of cardboard, and I just cut this off of a regular box, and I'm going to adhere it down with some washi tape. I like to just use some that's retired or some that I've already gotten tired of and I don't own. I'm going to start adding the sprinkles. So these come with a little flip top. You just want to open that up, and you want to use very, very little of this. So I'm just going to tap that on there, and as you can see, very small amount on there. And I'm just going to do that with each color. That's a little much, but that's okay. We'll fix that later. And I'll keep repeating that until I've got all the colors. So I've added all of the colors of sprinkles onto my image there. And next I'm using one of our Stampin' spritzers filled with water. And you want to keep a paper towel nearby, because if you use too much, then you're going to want to blot that up quickly. So I'm just going to spray that over the image, and we're going to watch the magic happen. And the more water you spray, the more color. All right, so I've already spritzed it once, and I blotted up the excess on my paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and spritz this one more time. Just get that nice and wet. And I will spritz it. I will go ahead and blot that again. So now you're just going to allow that to dry, and you may want to speed that up with a heat tool, or you can just leave it on the board to dry and it will dry naturally, but that helps it to dry pretty flat. Again, if you want less color, just continue spritzing and lifting off some of that color, or you can always add more sprinkles if you want more color. And then here's one more look at my finished card. As you can tell, no two cards are going to look exactly the same, so this is a really fun technique to try. I'm going to show you two more techniques using the Modern Heart stamp set, which is this one right here. I've already heat embossed this, so I've already skipped that step. And then what I have done is put some of the sprinkles on this acrylic block. And I'm going to add just a few of the Granny Apple Green as well. And then we will be ready to start coloring. But just tap that lightly to get your sprinkles out. This is an aqua painter that I've already filled with water, and I'm going to add just about a drop or two to each one of those sprinkle areas and get that loaded up with color. I'll blot it on my paper towel just to make sure that it's not too wet, and then I can start adding the color directly to my heart image over here. And so I'm just going to fill those in randomly. So once I've got everything colored in, I want to do something a little extra. So I'm going to load up my aqua painter with the color I want, and I'm going to hold it just slightly over this, and I'm going to just tap it, and that's going to create some sprinkles. Just kind of a splatter look on there. I'll give you a close-up of that so you can see. Just a really nice little close-up there. And here is the finished card for that one. Now this one I really loaded up my color, so it's a little bit brighter than the one I demonstrated here for you. But you can see you really have a lot of versatility with the depth of color with these pigment sprinkles. So play around with it and see what you like best. Now we're on to technique number 3. For this technique, you're going to do that same watercolor paper and then emboss with it. And then I'm going to take my aqua painter and get the paper nice and wet, so that I've got a good amount there. I'm going to blot that just a little bit. And then I'm going to do a watercolor wash over the heart. So as you can see, I added a few other colors and a little bit of splatter of the yellow, and then once that's dry, I'll add that to a card. You'll need to check my blog, thestampdoc.com, in order to see the finished card. And be sure to subscribe to my newsletter and also to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.